closing remarks right now. There's a small cadre of people, so we'll try to talk to them and hopefully be there the moment, certainly when jury deliberates, depends how long they will deliberate for, but hopefully also be here the moment the verdict is announced. So I guess I'll go and talk to some people, and there have been a lot of passionate people wearing pink in support of her. They kind of haven't quit, have been here for most of the moments of the trial, so it'll be cool to ask them what they're about. Hey, what's going on? How are you? Good, good. I got a little YouTube. I'm kind of amazed by you guys. You've been out here very consistently. I'd love to ask you a few questions about how you're feeling. You're the best. Completely alone, independent. Dodge Landisman is my name. I'm small YouTube. I have like 11,000 subscribers.
Do you want us to come to you?
No, I'll come to you. Don't worry, I'll do all the work. So what? First question I always ask: what brought you out here today?
Lindsay. I wanted to support Lindsay, but I also want to bring a lot of awareness to what's going on with women's health care, and she's been a really good example of what happens, in medicine. What was your name again?
Very well put. So you kind of felt like you need to bring attention to this issue.
Absolutely. And my son.
Oh.
This is my son, Evan.
God, cool.
He was a victim of the healthcare crisis.
Oh.
He unalived himself.
I'm so sorry.
It's horrible.
I'm so sorry. I admire you using that pain to really advocate for other people, and so you're able to kind of experience what people go through.
Yeah, and he even brought me back around because they want to put me on all these drugs again, and they want therapy me to death, and that just becomes a full-time job, and it's like something so tragic happening, and yet I still not real comfortable. I've got to compartmentalize. I've got to do my own therapy. I mean, sometimes I don't trust people. I lost it on the anniversary this year. I don't know if I'm not. It causes me to get welfare checks. And, I finally asked the police, should I even be telling people anymore?
Scary.
Yeah, they expect things that, and I should be okay. I should be okay to be not okay. I should be okay to be okay. As long as I'm not a danger to myself or others. You know what I mean?
Well, it's really interesting insight. So you knew what you needed, because you seem very level-headed now. I admire that you're using that pain and very well spoken. So you're able to kind of figure it out, but you had to do that independently, away from the so-called expert healthcare providers. So do you feel like Lindsay was trying to get this help and
absolutely.
just didn't?
I do, absolutely. And, I realized that it was my own kind of battle. I'm glad to meet these ladies, and I'm glad to see, but it is something that you kind of have to, it's you and your demons. You know what I mean? And you got to fight them off, and you got to decide every day that you're going to get up and you're going to do it for yourself, and the struggle's real, but it's you and yourself at the end of the day. And I think she tried really hard. There's things going on that I don't know if we'll ever know, but what Kevin Reddington has been able to display is that I told him, I said, you know what, same drugs, there's only a few of them that, I just had to get to the point. I was taking so many drugs I would forget.
Crazy, yeah.
You know what I mean? They overdosed me. It was just such a gamut of stuff that at some point I had to just stop it and be like, I'm going to control this in different ways. Of course, I got into the true crime community.
Good for you, though,
It's a great place to relate with people. In a sense, it's a murder.
Right.
How do you relate with people?
Well, you found people that went through pain as well.
They went through pain. It's been really enlightening. And I think that the intent of the community is to help each other.
Well, that's interesting. If somebody is going through something incredibly painful like what you went through, or even the emotions that Lindsay was feeling, what do you think is the best way to kind of get yourself to a functioning position? Doesn't seem like that, necessarily following to the letter of the law, the healthcare providers, maybe seeking your own community or...
Yeah, seeking your own community, finding meaning in your life. I've got to find peace in some way. That's a big thing, reminding myself. Sometimes you gotta just sit with yourself. It can get gnarly. I've had days that I've just sat and have been non-productive, but you know what? I made it. I grew from it. I'm into this, take 10 minutes. Maybe you need 10 more minutes. Because it gets debilitating. It gets to the point where it's like, how do I control my life? how to go to work. I'm very snappy. Like, I'm not working now because there was dysfunctional people, and it's like I gotta be in a safe. I can't have that go on. I've got to take care of myself first. The cool thing is, look, if I've been doing it, it's gonna keep going on. You know what I mean? You don't give up. You just, sometimes the thoughts will come and you're like, don't listen to yourself. Don't take yourself serious, you know? That's the biggest thing I could say.
Give yourself that space.
Yeah, I mean, ending it is like, what do they say? It's a long-term solution to a short-term problem.
Right, permanent solution, temporary problem. Yeah, very well put. What do you think Lindsay could have done, perhaps? Hard, I know, it's like, you're not her, obviously, or...
I wish Patrick had said, let's just all go. Let's go eat dinner at the restaurant.
Yeah.
It's like, I kind of feel
it's community involvement, too, yeah.
I wish he was holding her hand. I wish that he maybe should be in, if she's got to go to a mental hospital, I think he needs to go too. Because I think he was equally responsible for he stopped working, because if that's all true. You know, I wish she had some coping things. I wish she had just realized that she's important, that everybody's important, and that you know, I just cry for her. Honestly, I just, you know, I hope that we can move forward and that other people can be helped at least by this. I think good things can happen.
Do you think, well put, do you think Patrick should face maybe in a civil situation? Yeah. So do you think that's the thing, because he was the person that was level-headed the whole time. How did he not see this 2 steps ahead? He saw it.
Because he was checked out.
And
I think if he was more supportive, none of this would have happened. I think the support starts at home. If you can't trust your spouse, and if you don't have the support of your spouse, what do you have? She was crying out. She told him her thoughts. He left on a 2-day vacation. A work trip. He left on a 2-day work trip. Why didn't he call his in-laws? Why didn't he call his parents and say, hey, this is what Lindsay's saying to me. I don't feel comfortable leaving her, but I have to go. Why did he leave her? And like Kevin said, if this was planned, like the Commonwealth wants everyone to think that this was well planned out, she had 2 days. He would have come back and nobody would have been alive. She had 28 minutes.
Right.
That leaves a chance of, like, the baby was still alive for a couple days. They brought the baby back. She was still alive. That leaves time. That's how you know that this wasn't premeditated, that this was a snap that went off. But I don't think as a husband he was supportive. I think he should have taken a leave from work, said, sorry guys, I got some stuff going on with my wife. I need to figure this out. Her appointments were all Zoom. He didn't have to go anywhere. He drops her off at a mental health facility and goes skiing. You're going out and you're playing, what are you playing, golf? You're going out and having drinks with your buddy, and your wife is at home with 3 kids. You said it yourself at the funeral. You brought 2 kids to church and it was too much work for you. Your wife had 3 children with mental health issues, and you didn't think to support. You see the video of them at the Museum of Science. She's got the 2 kids and he's just standing there like out to lunch. You know what I mean? You can tell by his demeanor that he's either A, an idiot and doesn't know what to do, or B, he just didn't know how to help. And that's where the problem lied. And I think if she had more support from her husband, this would have been prevented. If he had said, why don't we all go? Why don't we go to the store together? This would have been prevented.
We would have gone all the work trip together. Exactly. You know, if they had the time, see a new city, do all these outdoor activities, eat new food. Right, go to some cool restaurants. Right, go to the Kids Science Museum. They could have made it a trip. Yeah.
She really have to go back to work. That was a lot of pressure on her to go back to work. Like, why did she need to go back? They had I think a high-priced nanny, and where was the nanny at?
Well, he fired the nanny, and that was the other thing. Like, you're taking away her support. You know, like his parents even said, do we need to come and help? And he's like, no, she's okay. Why are you taking away the support? If anything, you should be bringing more support in. What can I do to help?
Yeah, you're not the one going through those emotions.
Correct.
So, right, you say, what physical activities can we do? What, and as you said, how could we as a community of family get you just to be out communicating?
There should have been, like, an intervention, right?
Right.
With all the family together. And are like, how are we going to help Lindsay?
That was so hard, because
well put.
It's hard to get, when I was going through things, I needed people to step in and help me. It was really hard to get.
Yeah, I was 19. I had my son over there. I had him at 19.
Wow, young.
Support.
How do you do it? Good for you.
And I was in a bad relationship. I was in a very controlling relationship with a narcissist.
Yeah, it wasn't helping.
And you have no help. You think everything you're doing is wrong. I think that's where my ideations came from, because I was like, I'm
Well,
not doing
feeling
anything.
hopeless.
So you had them as well.
I did.
Yeah.
And I had them after I had my son with postpartum depression, but I've also had them later in life from birth control.
Interesting.
So, it's hormones, right? Like,
Right. Hormonal. Yeah.
as a woman, you go through labor, right? But people don't realize your hormones for 9 months are technically controlled, right? Because you're pregnant. It's all hormones. You go through all, especially as a first-time mom, you think about everything. Is this baby, is he breathing? Is he sleeping? What am I doing wrong? Oh my God, it's crying. Is it, does it have coffee? All of these thoughts start racing. I never had anxiety until I became a mom.
Fascinating. Interesting. It all just bubbled up.
And now I still, everyone says it's a time period, right? What do they say? 4 months?
Well, I don't like
postpartum?
that a lot. Like someone from the UK commented something, or someone that made a statement, and they said that they consider postpartum until like 2 years old.
My son's about to be 21, and I still have postpartum depression, and I still have
Still gone through
Which
it.
I think
Yeah.
that it compounds.
Wow.
Yep.
And it turns into something. It takes on a life of its own, or maybe you had underlying, before.
Yeah,
it
and
just-
like I had said to someone else, I said, if you have depression and you have psychological issues prior to having a baby, they're only going to be activated after you have the baby. So that's why they don't take you off antidepressants when you're pregnant, right? Because they're like, listen, once you have this baby, God only knows what's going to happen. Like, I had it, but I was off my medication. I had been diagnosed with depression since I was 11 years old. I was actually treated at McLean Hospital from the age of 13 to 17, where I was a guinea pig
Ugh.
in my eyes for pills. Everything is, here's a pill for this, here's a pill for that. Well, where's the
Right. It's all just throwing to a wall and seeing what sticks. Which,
So now,
you know,
as a
Lindsay's same
40-year-old
situation.
woman,
Yeah.
I look at pharmaceutical companies as you're in bed with this doctor. And if you go online, everyone's like, well, Lexapro. Why does everyone know what Lexapro is? Because it's the new drug that they're trying to push out there.
It's a whole movie with that with Jake Gyllenhaal and Anne Hathaway about that they were drug pharmaceutical sale representatives and how corrupt it was. And that it wasn't what pills really help people, but it was, can we get this meeting with this doctor? Can we wine and dine this doctor? Can we give a donation to the doctor's nephew who's running for city council or a great charity? Right.
So you're talking about the echelons of echelons that are involved in the problem, and not
Right.
the solution.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they get a cut from every script they write. They're not if they're prescribing you elsewhere, they're not getting the check from the invasive therapies. They're not getting the check from the hospitals. So I feel like everything they try to do is they just try to sugarcoat everything and mask everything with the pill instead of getting to the root of it.
Yeah. Well, and I'm curious, you mentioned dealing with a narcissistic partner. Do you think Patrick Clancy was that narcissistic partner?
Do I
I
think
have
he was
lots
a
of thoughts on
douchebag
Patrick
like my
Clancy.
ex-husband? Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
have lots of thoughts on Patrick. I can't pinpoint if I think he's a narcissist. He has crazy eyes to me.
I think it's odd to get remarried
Okay.
super. I could never comprehend that.
Like, why is he not holding his wife's hand? Or
Right.
something?
Exactly.
Right.
I had this conversation with my son in the car. He's going to be 21. And I said, if this was you and this happened to your family, are you moving on that quick? And the first thing he said was, no.
Right.
I'm waiting till after the trial. I'm standing by her. And I'm going to see the outcome. And if they happen to get life, I need to move on with mine. But he said, but to move on right afterwards is really weird. He moved on so quickly because the relationship was already started. First thing about
Right.
men
They
is
dropped
when they're
you off
not
at the
involved
hospital
anymore. They're
and
emotionally
screamed.
checked out.
Right.
They're seeking attention from somewhere else. So
And it's
they're-
100% goes to the other else, right?
Yes, and like I said before, like, I don't think it was a work trip. I think it was a meet up with the new wife. But that's a whole different story that not everyone wants to talk about because they're saying if she said she did it. Well, I don't technically.
She didn't technically say she did it.
I don't think she knows what happened. And
Do you think Clancy set it up or did it himself? Some people feel that way.
Kind of one of the very few that are actually talking
Asking that
about
question?
that.
Yeah.
And
Because he's not with like.
No, right, yeah.
He can
Well,
ask that question.
No control narrative.
I'm like, if
Appreciate
all
saying
that
that.
stuff going on, did, how kittens will kill or there's something
Sure,
wrong,
eat their
they
young,
say
yeah.
no.
They know they're defective,
Could
yeah.
it have been an organic thing? Could he have been, like, if I don't come home and the kids are dead, I'm going to kill you?
entirely possible.
Was he the voice in her head? Did he drug her?
I think
Those are
he
some
knew. I think he
questions.
knew this woman
You know,
prior.
if she wasn't struggling with mental health, would this even happen in the first place?
Yeah.
That's my main concern. Is if she wasn't struggling with mental health already, would this have happened?
I think he knew her prior, and I think that he might have reached out to her as a doctor and may have said, "Hey, this is what's going on with my wife. Like, what do I do?" And I think maybe because he was in my head mentally checked out. I'm not speaking for anybody else. I think he was mentally checked out. I think that's what started an emotional affair, which then led to the physical affair. And I think the work trip, like I said, why didn't you call the in-laws? Why didn't you call your parents? Why didn't you stay with her? A lot of the behavior, a lot of the trips don't add up. They're on the same vacations. I mean, you move on so quickly afterwards.
Yeah. It was very
There
quickly
was a connection
accepted.
there. She was liking photos prior, family
Oh,
photos
interesting.
and stuff prior. I mean, this was going on longer than we think. And I think that the meds he was discarding in his car, getting rid of, was going in her drinks and going in her food. And I think the
People
voice
feel
that
that,
she
yeah.
heard was Patrick, either over an Alexa or a baby monitor telling her to do it. Because why is he on his phone in the restaurant?
Well,
What is he
no.
watching?
What do you think of what Reddington's been saying? I mean, I know he says that this is a case, and I need to defend Lindsay. And
Yeah.
he said she's a wonderful woman. And she's not guilty. She's made a lot of really very.
Maybe he has
that
something
a
up
lot
his
of
sleeve that's
people
going to come out later on that
aren't
we don't know.
saying.
Right.
A lot of things aren't saying. I mean, he said something about what Patrick said. It was snowing. Do you remember that comment?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, which is characteristic. The things that, like they
No,
said
everybody's
about
aware of,
her
yeah.
cutting the screen, didn't cut the screen.
Right. There's a lot of like
Why are her
details.
fingerprints not on the exercise band? She used them, right?
His work.
Yeah,
His work.
But why?
Right.
Let me just say this. If in a normal investigation, which I'm assuming a normal investigation would have been done, right? In the state of Massachusetts, we
That
know
was
that
what
those don't
Reddington said,
happen
is they
properly
did
because
no
we've seen it happen with Karen
investigation.
Reed and we've seen it
They
happen over
took
and over again.
Patrick's word on everything.
He's standing
They did.
outside. He's got 3 unalived children inside of a house and a wife out on the front lawn, and the cops just say she did it. They just took it.
That was the weird part. There wasn't a double arrest. There wasn't questioning for both of them. I thought that was oddly. You know, you watch Forensic Files or any other thing, they'll usually take in both people related to the scene,
Correct.
both adults.
And,
You know,
and people are saying he was what, on the couch. They said he was sitting on the couch when they came.
I think so. Yeah.
But how
Just kind of.
thyroid?
Yeah, they said, oh, she could take. She had
And
like
people-
a
and
stage 4 trauma or something.
And
Like one of
professionals
the
have
highest
said they've
traumas
seen
you could
falls
have.
and they've never seen
Yeah,
a
she's
crushed-
like
a crushed
taking
thyroid. So
Well, right, and they characterize kind of her interactions with Patrick as both cold and very casual, though,
yeah.
which seems odd after
Well,
such
are you
a.
going to be emotionally connected to your spouse who's not supporting you during your mental health crisis? Absolutely not. Absolutely. I'm looking at you like you are a jackass.
Honestly,
Do not touch
no,
me.
I think she's scared.
And all the medication you're on. I'm
I
sorry,
think
but
she's
you're not
scared.
going to
I
have
think
the
it's a lot
interest in
easier
other
for
things.
her
Yeah,
to
yeah.
just be stoic, be a good soldier, take the blame.
And
Right.
she's a Catholic, so she very much is, you know, her beliefs could have been what the husband says, I do.
You know, and
We don't know.
Reddington
So
kind of
they teach.
covered for her and said that she speaks highly of Patrick.
Still
and
to
I
this
think
day.
that she's scared of him and
Interesting.
she's scared, yeah. And that just makes this a witch trial.
Well, right, because then she was coerced, she was controlled. I mean, there's a lot of people who are part of cults who did some I can think of Patty Hearst, for example, who committed an armed robbery at a bank, but ultimately I think she was let free immediately because it was very clear she was under the duress and, quite frankly, mind control of the cult that she was a part of, and that
Are you saying the Catholic Church is a cult?
Some people feel it is, you know. Well, Patrick could be the stand-in for that. It's almost as if Patrick could be a stand-in for like the most extreme version of their religion.
Yeah.
Like he could be that
Which is
cult
why I'm
figure.
also on the fence of like, is this guy really a narcissist? I mean, he could quite possibly be. Like I said, he's got some
Right.
crazy eyes. I don't know.
I'd say it's hard. I would say certainly so. And she was certainly in an unhealthy relationship, and somebody who wasn't as supportive as they. Because if they were supportive, if he was supportive the whole time, he just would have said, "You need to take 6 months off from work."
Yeah.
And the weird part is, he has plenty of money.
Yep.
He certainly has his own career.
He's able to
They
work
bought the
from
house.
home.
Yeah.
Where he could work from home. Right, exactly. He could
Yeah.
work from home.
And that's even almost
She
worse,
couldn't-
having him work still not be emotionally supportive? She was on Zoom calls for crying out loud. She wasn't in person, like at half of these appointments. And
Sad.
you leave her there. You don't go in and meet with the doctors when she's checking into a place. You leave her there. You take your kids skiing. I don't know.
Right, it has to be your full-time job. It's like, you know, for him, I think it'd be one or two thoughts. It would be, this person is so far gone, we have to immediately separate, we have to get in a different space, or every single day of my life is making sure she gets a comfort and support that she needs, and the space she needs to be.
That's a very calculated and very responsible thing to do what you said you were going to do when you got married, which is support your spouse.
Sickness and health.
That's a very conscious thing to actually do. And like things that I question, like you don't know whether the email came from your service or if it came from your iPhone. You don't know. There was a bunch
you're
of
good.
things that
Thanks for all your help. I appreciate it.
There was a bunch of things that don't add. Oh God, they don't add up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, it's interesting in the future. I don't know. I mean, Reddington could be not focusing on Clancy in case there's a not great verdict, which I doubt, but in case there's a not ideal verdict, then, you know, do you go for a mistrial? Do you say, well, that arguably somebody who played a role in perpetrating this was never investigated, even in the most limited level, even the level of, was there some negligence involved?
So what's wrong with Massachusetts?
You know, some would say Massachusetts, at least it's more lenient you know, not be found guilty for a murder charge.
Because I was like, why did they even bring this to trial?
But then, right, but if they have that, why even bring it in the first place? Fair point.
But like I said, things are coming out, like Reddington's dropping little bombs here and there.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, but you know, the problem is lots of times once this gets out of the media, it goes away.
Right.
So that's the problem that we have, and you just may never know. He may skate, he may never really be implicated.
Right.
The truth may never come out. And what I do think is important though, and like I said, I think it might have been the difference between night and day is if the medical community hadn't failed. You know what I mean? She might have been strong enough to leave. She may have been strong enough to, you know, she had a traumatic head injury, you know, her thyroid, spinal problems.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we shouldn't put her through hell.
Yeah, then, you know, and even with that, with all the witnesses for the prosecutor, you know, with them officially trying to indicate that she wasn't crazy, but then, you know, as Reddington asking one of them, have you ever done postpartum anything? And he said, well, back in 1975. And that was it. And that was the extent of you know, and so it does seem radical to let somebody who really doesn't know that topic to make such a significant
gun by the state.
Right.
And he talks so horribly about women that were like he associated her with women in war times that were culpable of their actions because it was wartime. They knew what they were doing.
Right.
And they tried to basically, you know what I mean? They tried to align her with that, which I think was wrong. I was in the courtroom for that yesterday.
Oh, cool, you were. How was it?
I mean, I'm like sitting on the edge of my seat. Like at one time we're like, could you just say yes? Just say yes. Everyone around me were shaking our heads. Just say yes. He finally said yes. But it was like, I felt like it was important to sit there and listen to that, for that. Because he actually, and you know, looked at the jury like he was instructing them on how to choose. There was a lot of manipulation. That wearing the bow, you know, I can say this, right? They call them the bow bitches. That's what Dr. Leslie calls them. And she's great. I mean, she does F-bombs and stuff all over the place. She again does.
Could be a little more human. You know, nothing wrong with that.
I love it because she's not hiding nothing. Everything she's showing is out there. I think that it's good. I hope that social media could really be like they say. Oh, social media is horrible. Like
no, that's why you were broadcasting your message. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing. It might, I appreciate what you're doing because it might fizzle in terms of the public eye.
Yeah.
But then if somebody looks up postpartum or something, they, and I'll title it this way, they might see a clip of you speaking, and that'll be there 6 months if a mother is going through that issue a year from now. Oh, they'll look at all these little clips of all these advocates, of all these people in pink saying, this is what I went through. This is what I went through, the pain with my family. And that's lasting, So I think even these simple conversations or you being outside here, I think probably will save a handful of people in the realest way possible. So,
Yeah.
Are you from around here?
I'm from Maine.
Oh, you're from up in Maine. Okay, cool. So where in Maine? Southern, northern?
Southern Maine.
Okay, so not too bad.
Bridgeton, Maine.
Okay, cool. I was out there covering the primary election a little bit.
Okay.
The crazy Graham Plattner blow
He's
up.
kind of a nut.
He is. Well, actually, that makes you
Does
think
that
about.
it makes him a good candidate?
I mean, initially he was exciting, but I think he was. Well, it is interesting.
Well, it's been the domestic violence or the.
Yeah, that was pretty horrible. Yeah. It makes me think about that too. With they're very different people with Plattner and Clancy, but then I do wonder if there's too much of an acquiescence for put together men. White. Is there too much of a reflex to want to like them? And is that
His fan base is going to be based on men that are like him.
yeah.
There's
So
a lot of them out there.
yeah. So they want to feel a little more accepted.
Well,
So
which is why these women get horribly upset that
Yeah.
one man telling them what to do with their bodies and whatnot. And,
yeah.
and I mean, I was trying to grow a man myself that,
Yeah.
didn't make it.
Yeah.
And I think he would have been a good man. I like the ideas he had.
Good.
I think he had some bad times and no
What
support
it is,
for
healthcare,
that.
right?
No support.
He
for that.
he was up, with it left without a paddle, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And you tried everything you could do, but just like with this case, you see the government failing over and over, and the healthcare providers failing over and over when you pay them all this money to save their life. No, universal basic income. Oh yeah, sure, I like UBI. I think there's because then that's the problem. Is there's all this money given to government entities that are not competent versus you have the strength to understand yourself. So that's a part of it. And yeah. So I think UBI where you can directly spend. Yeah, and right, universal basic income, universal basic health care. Yeah.
My daughter was saying the cool thing about that is all this would be standardized.
Right.
Hold on a second. Let's give you some Ativan.
Right, and it can be very specific.
Level you up. Okay,
Right.
what's the next level?
Right.
Get to the next level. You would get to.
Right.
How
Versus-
do you feel about this? How do you?
Yeah, versus-
Have some real truths because it would be on a level of we're not doing this because we're making money. We're not doing this because it's something to prove. You know what I mean? Probably naturally take care of itself. Is what I think.
Well put. Yeah, I agree. Then I was going to ask you, have you seen Reddington's closing statement?
No.
It was
I
good.
mean, I got to where because I was crying and stuff.
Ah,
and I was
it's
like, I'm
tough.
gonna watch
It's
this
hard to
later.
see, yeah.
Yeah, because they got
Yeah.
where I guess they were criticizing her about having a beer and
Yes.
She was really, and I was like, I need to go smoke a cigarette. Maybe I can.
I don't blame you.
Like
Yeah.
out here, legal medications are beautiful things sometimes too.
Yeah.
And demonize smoking, however tranquil it makes you feel.
Great minds think alike.
But I came out and found these ladies and stuff, and so I don't know how long do you think before they're.
I think that's why they're all waiting, which I'll probably
Yeah.
do somewhat soon because I'd imagine it was. Well, I use a bathroom. I came over here to use a bathroom at McDonald's, which is next door, and Sprague was kind of in the middle of her closing remarks,
Okay.
and that was maybe just before I spoke with you. So my if you want to look it up, because I can't because I'm streaming.
Yeah, no.
But if you want to look it up on YouTube, it'll probably say if she's concluded or not. I'd be curious, people in the chat, what they say.
And I thought
But-
I was gonna lose it, but actually
Yeah.
I think they hung themselves.
Well, I was going to say, so what do you, so people feel, what do you think is going to be the verdict?
I hope not guilty. I think it could be a hung trial.
Wait, are we actually doing something?
I don't know. I really hope not guilty. I really want.
Well, there's a few different versions, right? So they
Right.
could just do plainly not guilty facility. They could do manslaughter. It was interesting to have those extra things kind of be brought up.
Okay.
So, But the analysis seems to be whatever you feel about her, that the prosecutors kind of blew the case somewhat, and that and bringing the religiosity and the mortal sin comment from the prosecutor was right, and just giving the idea that there should be a mistrial even if there wasn't, plants an idea in the jury's head that the prosecutors were not playing by the book as they should, and were using elements that could prejudice an emotion, which you're not really supposed to do, that if they don't have anything to do with the case. And I feel like the prosecutors like seeing, okay, we have probably a large Northeast Massachusetts probably have a largely Catholic audience, let's appeal to your religious emotions. Right.
No, I get you. That's a very interesting layer you just put on that.
Thanks. Yeah.
Sympathizing of the.
I think that was.
And normalizing it.
Right.
That's what's here.
Right.
Okay. You're live streaming right now?
Yeah. The whole time. We got like 20 people watching you. One comment said you were really good.
What?
Sorry, I should have told you, but.
No, that's okay. I was talking to people and I'm like, are you going to interview me? And I didn't realize they were interviewing
That's fine.
me.
Well, you're still good at
I'm
conversation, right?
Step up my presence a little bit.
No, you're really good because it was just like you were talking. That's what reporters love, right? That it's just like a conversation more than a formal, like, give me your 20-second soundbite. So I'm sure they appreciate it. They might have more to edit, but I think I'm a little more unique because unlike mainstream media, everything is clipped for a newscast or for a presentation, where mine is a lot more freeform. So instead of talking to you for 20 seconds, I could talk to you for 15 minutes, which I think you get a lot more out of things, and kind of to truly understand people.
Do you have a card?
I don't. I can write down my info or type it for you. I appreciate the interest. I got a card in the mail. Everybody keeps telling me I need to get a card.
Let's just do it on my
Yeah, perfect. Awesome. Yeah, it might be fun if you ever want to like a Zoom interview the day after or something, do a little follow-up. That would be really cool, actually.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I grapple with being an advocate because lots of times I get overwhelmed.
Yeah, whatever you have the energy for.
Now, but we'll see what happens during the week.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But let me get my notes.
Perfect.
Let's see, maybe that's what we're at. But it doesn't matter. Let's go there.
Whatever works.
Oh yeah, that's right here. Okay. So let's
Cool.
go.
Perfect. You got a few people. I like it.
Me.
Sweet.
Okay,
All right, and then probably easier. Then I'll do my name. Luckily, all of my stuff. I have such an unusual name.
Okay.
So like my YouTube is just my name.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be on your YouTube in a few minutes.
I appreciate that.
Be subscribing.
Awesome. Thank you.
For the algorithm.
Very nice. I could use all the help I could get.
No, I think it's awesome, and what I think is even more awesome is you brought up the other things that they're talking.
Thank you.
Talk about it.
Yeah. Well, that's such a huge. It's funny because it's like Court TV or the local NBC affiliate or whatever. None of them have mentioned the Clancy culpability aspect, and I think they're too scared to, or they don't want to get in trouble. And there is a controlled media narrative saying, all right, we need to not get too out there because then we have more work to do, and then maybe our narrative is incorrect. And so if there's something that we missed 4 months ago, we want to pretend that never existed, and I used to work for local news. I was a local TV news reporter in Arizona, and the things that they tell you not to say out of concern that it'll maybe aggravate the DA's office and they won't give you an interview, or it'll aggravate the mental health care facility provider and they'll never talk to you again. And it was funny because part of me was thinking, well, I don't care. Like, if they're not going to talk to you, if they're just going to lie or say what you expect them to say.
They're spinning bullshit.
Right. So and as an independent person, I'll never get access to the healthcare providers, or I'll never get access to the DA's office. So it's freeing in that way because I don't care, right?
Wait, have you seen Brian Enton?
He's great, yeah.
I watched his.
He's been on the ball, yeah.
Yeah, I watched his thing. In fact,
Court
he
TV.
Was coming out last night about I think it was like how could she have like how could she said all that and bringing out he's trying to bring out the inconsistencies.
Yeah.
And like I said, Reddington in my mind dropped that bomb big time.
I think he did, or it might be a future investment for.
Did.
Right. Well, it just, again, yeah, it doesn't. It see, they never subpoenaed his phone records. They never,
Shocking.
right? They never interviewed his newest love.
Okay.
They never did any of that, and yeah. So there's like a lot of like unturned stones. I think I admire Brian for actually touching on it because, yeah, like if you look at like the internet comments, it must be like, I think it's like 20% now of people who think that Patrick was kind of culpable in this situation. Yeah, quite a bit. And it was funny. I remember I was there the first week of the trial, and I was staying in an Airbnb in Plymouth, right around here, and the owner was friends with the psychologist who'd been in this area for like 20 years. And she said, without a doubt, she felt like Patrick entirely set it up, which is interesting. And she was a licensed, professional.
Have you heard of that man, Brian Benson, I think, did on this, if I'm remembering correctly, because he went by the house. And,
Right, okay.
And he was saying that, like, someone who used to work for the prosecutor or something like that bought that house.
Yes, yeah, that was a
not
weird...
controversial?
Well, yeah, all right, there's two weird things. It's weird that the house is quickly, like, bought that quickly. And some people, right, and it looks like there was a connection, because think about that, like, how many people are like, okay, I'm gonna buy the murder house? Like,
It's a thing.
yes,
It's a thing.
it is, people do it.
My friend, the neighbor died, and she went right down and asked, is that house for sale?
Yeah, so there you go. Maybe it's super cheap, it could have
Yeah,
been.
she's like, I just go from here to there, and then no difference that the neighbor had died in the house.
Right, good point.
She wanted to move right in.
Good point, right. So that
yeah,
could be,
yeah.
right, it could be like a macabre kind of,
So that
people.
was one of those odd, like, things.
But it was quick, and yeah, there was supposed to be an established working relationship with the purchase of the house with Clancy. Then it was odd that the house was available for the jury to view. Usually that's, not the situation.
Now, what about the police? Could there have been a really good reasons for them conducting a poor investigation? Like, they're not really trained, and
Well, it's like the whole O.J. Simpson case was blown up because Mark Furman conducted him so poorly. I mean, I think he's obviously guilty, but he conducted it so poorly where the evidence was essentially damned and washed away. And they never, it was interesting with all of this. Of course, they interviewed the police on the scene. They interviewed EMS, but there was no effort to say was anything sloppily done, which is a lot of, because then you throw out the whole case. If the evidence was sloppily procured or something like that, then the whole case kind of goes out the window. So I'm surprised he didn't take that approach, but maybe there's not enough there's not much to it, or maybe he puts it in his back pocket. But it'll be interesting. Yeah, that's and then the narrative just kind of came up in the last like 2 weeks.
and it's really gaining speed.
Right.
Because I see levels, and like, I guess I'm trying really hard with the women's mental health in this, because I know for sure that that's impacting everybody, and that's something we can do something about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I thought if there's anything that we really can do, but that other stuff is very, and as a citizen, you expect them to do the right thing, and it doesn't sound like that's going on.
Yeah.
So that's concerning to me, and like, I was sitting with a woman yesterday, and she was talking about corruption, and she was trying to tell her story, and they were like, give us his name, and she just falling apart. And I just go, you know what, this is a fucking tragedy, and you know what happened? Everyone just went click and walked away, and I was like, hold on, like, this is how the media is, and and this woman's concerned about her safety and her security, and like, and that, when we start talking about tragedies happening, people are like, well, that's not newsworthy, or you can't bleep out my F-bomb.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the little girl that I've been talking to, she's really awesome, and she's just like, you did the right thing, because she's flailing, and you should save the day there. But
well, with the anime, do you have any thoughts on the Vanity Fair reporter who did you see her in the court? Were you there that same day? Woman in green.
It was hard for me, because I was like, I was sitting on myself over here, like all this stuff to try to keep myself under control.
Oh, so you're there that same moment.
Well, no, that was, I think, the day before.
Yeah, day before. Yeah.
Oh, no, she winked at the camera.
Right. But you've been in there, like, right, you're trying to, like,
I
you still,
I think I saw that on YouTube. And
right.
I was like, and that hadn't even blown up yet. I don't know. It sounded like she wasn't really even a Vanity Fair reporter. That they hired her just to
Yeah, she was able to sell it, being like, I knew her, and they I think she did. They have a picture together.
Okay.
How well she knew her is to be debated, but that they knew each other as little kids.
Right.
And you can do that. I've always, people told me to do that, but then you have to be obligated to them. But freelance reporters could go and pitch to a bigger publication and say, hey, I have this interesting story or this unique connection. And if you want to go that route, it helps with credentials, and I don't really care because I'm just independent.
She might really want a career, and that might be her opportunity to get in. But
Right.
It was bad. It was bad.
I think, it's either one of two things for her. I think she wanted the Vanity Fair stamp if she wanted to be like a full journalist and have that, but she blew it because now she got all this negative press. The other aspect is, did she want to be a social media figure who does journalism? And this was her moment to become quasi-famous, and to smile and be silly and kind of just do these physical theatrics. My feeling is she wants to try to parlay that into being some sort of. It's not that big of a deal. I don't see how that's going to last. But some independent. It's interesting being independent because we all have different ambitions and goals.
Right.
And for her, it might just to be a silly social media character.
Well, and I was going to say, even TMZ isn't that TMZ anymore.
No, right. Right, and well, you do TMZ, right? And TMZ pays well, at least, They've gotten serious. They're in DC now.
Because Harvey Levin, he's like, they still attack Britney.
Yes.
They're attacking Ariana Grande right now.
Right.
I mean,
it's kind of their MO.
Harvey Levin kind of lives on a different planet because
Yes.
he's like, well, I can't believe this stuff goes on, but you don't live in the real world either.
No.
So
Very
I
wealthy,
don't know
been
that
removed
he's
from
got
that,
a lot of able to really gravitate.
No, and he has all
towards
these
that
connections. It's
because-
funny, he's talking to Mark Garagos, and they're like best friends.
I kind of like that a lot too, because the Two Angry Men thing.
Yeah.
And Mark Garagos, even though because he works for the devil.
Yeah.
If you need a friend, hire a lawyer. And,
Yeah.
and he owns that. And he manipulates it and stuff. But and there's not a lot that come out and tell us the truth. And some of the stuff that he's been doing as long as he is actually pretty valuable. And I watched the crime junkies.
Sure, yeah,
And
they're good, yeah.
Really,
Yeah, I was gonna. Who's your favorite YouTube person covering this? There's so many. We probably, and the funny thing is, there's also a fracture. We probably don't even watch the same people anymore. Like, I like somebody named Laura Lee, but you might never have heard her. Right there, you go. And she has, a million subscribers. It's so funny. Nobody's a celebrity anymore.
I think
Even on one topic, like she's huge for hundreds of thousands of people, and half the people watching the trial never. Most of the people watching the trial never heard of her.
Yeah, and we have mainstream Brian Enton because he's
Yeah.
the good guy from the block.
Yeah, and Court TV has always been pretty level-headed and not. Yeah.
She came out and said the family did it with
Great hardcore, yeah.
Nancy Guthrie, and that was kind of
Yeah.
I don't know, bold and confusing. And
Was they had it. I guess they want to run with it, or yeah.
And then she got slapped on the hand, and like you said, they all come from really mainstream kind of.
Right.
There's two nurses that came on, and they were talking about Lindsay's thyroid being crushed. And
Right.
Not making sense. There's a lot of TikTokers who've done it. There's a lot of room for people to come up and be really splendid because I think that whoever's doing stuff right now is they're rocking the market. So I still think there's a lot of room for good people to come in, and I don't think it's oversaturated. I surf. Like I go like Chris Como.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Like Body Bags. Just
Them I don't know. Okay.
I like Nancy Grace. They gave her a lot
She's
of
fun.
because she doesn't leave, from what I understand.
No, she's there the whole time.
I still like to listen. I still want to
Yeah.
hear her.
Well, she still knows what's happening.
Sometimes I'm like,
Yeah.
it might seem bad that I don't finish things out, but I'm like, go. To the
No,
next
but and
one.
you want that because you want different sources, and to see if there's something they missed that another source said or something. So I think it's good to watch a variety of people.
Yeah, I can't wait to see your show.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Usually I do live that'll cut into a little video or something.
Okay, you do reels and all
Yeah, it'll cut it into reels as well. And, you gave me a lot of good stuff, so I'll sift through it and edit it. So I appreciate it.
Like I said, I feel like you just kept rolling. on, so whatever you.
No, it's good. Oh, you're awesome, though.
I'm glad.
I appreciate it. So, yeah, no, it'll.
Glad you mentioned all the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, that's why I want to go out here to kind of give a perspective that some of the mainstream media are too nervous to give, and simply just have longer conversations. I think that's kind of cool.
Well, you know what, like the local station, can't think of what their name is.
WCVB TV.
I caught him when I was at the laundromat yesterday.
Oh, cool.
But it was such a blip.
Funny.
And we didn't go into really big too much. It was like.
Interest, were they interviewing people outside the laundromat to be like, what do you think?
No.
Oh,
I just
okay.
had to go to my laundry.
Oh, that's funny.
I had loaded it in the car, and my laundromat was closed, and so I just figured if I was coming out here, I'd find a laundromat on the way home or whatever. It just was incidental.
And they're
but
out
I was
there.
like, wow, that really wasn't a lot. It was talking more
No.
about the verdict, and
Yeah.
I think people know what to expect from mainstream media.
Yeah.
Probably for
Quick
what
hits.
the amount that they're trying to put out was important, but I think the little YouTubers are so important.
Yeah,
for,
yeah.
like,
I
really
appreciate you
what's-
saying that.
what's
Yeah,
really
you kind of
putting
broadcast.
stuff out, and,
You kind of broadcast it out a little better and see what you missed. Very cool. I appreciate it. I'm gonna grab a little cigarette.
I'm thinking
Honored
the
to meet
same
you.
thing. You
Great
too.
minds think alike.
Yeah.
And also, but I'm gonna see somewhat stations to see if Reddington. I wonder if after closing arguments, is Reddington gonna walk right out, or does he stay while the jury deliberates?
I want to stay till, because yesterday
Yeah.
we were like, and of course I was with kind of some of the mover shaker peoples or whatever, and they were wanting to take pictures and stuff
Yeah.
of him. And,
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, so
Are you part of a group, like a text group? No.
I'm
Okay.
like a lone wolf.
Cool. Good for
To be
you.
honest.
Nothing wrong with
I'm
that.
a lone wolf.
Nothing wrong with
I'm
that.
an electrician's helper because I think my dad wanted me to be an electrician.
Oh, cool.
And,
Okay.
so I've been kind of actually have some creative ideas for that and stuff too. But I don't know. Sometimes I want to do advocacy. I want to.
Good for you.
Yeah,
This
do
is
full-time,
this is the way to do it.
you know. And like I said, I did want to showcase the mental health because that's.
It's important. Yeah.
Oh God, that I don't know that I would be doing it without for Lindsay. If it was like if I really just thought she had just killed her kids.
Right.
I think it would have
When did you decide? Was it like the day of, or was it a little later when you felt like she should not be?
Today's Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. I was watching it,
Okay.
and I was like, "Wow, Massachusetts is not that far away."
Yeah.
And I googled. It was like less than 3 hours. I was like, I could really get there in
Doable,
that
yeah.
time. And I'm getting kudos from my daughter because
Respect.
she's like, "Mom, I'm like a professional. I get up and I watch from the thing."
Good
And
for you.
she
So you really know what
has
you're
all
talking about.
ideas and all that stuff too. So
Cool.
But yeah, no, I think that this is, and she said like they're studying. This is going to become in the future how things are going to be handled. This is like a
That's the bedrock. I mean, for those that would have a detracting point of view, understandably, they say, well, is this going to be an excuse to get away with murder in the future?
okay.
Which I could understand. I could understand that. I think this is so specific and so hashed out and so detailed, and she'll also get punishment, no matter what. But that's, there is, have we become maybe a little too liberal, and is there such a thing as like too much mercy? I think in this situation probably not, but in other situations sure. And so there's but it's interesting, that kind of almost falls more into like a political argument than the specifics of Clancy. Yeah, he's out now. And he paralyzed somebody forever. He didn't kill anybody.
Okay.
Arthur Bremer, the guy who shot George Wallace, who was a segregated, he could have chosen a better person to shoot, quite frankly. But he was a hardcore segregationist, very racist guy. He ran for president 1972. Arthur Bremer shot him, paralyzed him. Arthur Bremer also got out. So you have two assassins who paralyzed people, neither attempted assassins who did get out. Sirhan, well, that's interesting too. Sirhan's the guy who shot RFK Jr., RFK Sr. RFK Jr. feels like he should get out, that he was set up. So it's interesting when you talk about these previous cases and you have kind of understanding, especially like Sirhan, because there was a feeling that he's controlled by MK Ultra and that he had some military involvement and was part of various military tests. And so a lot of people feel like he was kind of set up as a patsy. in that regard.
Okay.
So
like,
but he's still there.
Criminals versus like Lindsay.
Right, and the commonality, and the commonality with both of them is they had no previous criminal history.
Like Lindsay Shirola killed her boyfriend and her friend and his friend, yet they like 15 years.
Who are you talking about?
Lindsay Shirola.
I don't know that one.
She drove a car to Brooklyn.
Oh wow, okay.
They literally like maximum 15 years.
Wow.
Because she's young, she's doing all this crazy stuff in jail, and it's like her prison. I guess she was actually in prison, and so I mean I think she's probably guilty, even though.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, you gotta watch.
That's a fast. I never heard about that.
Sorry, I just made the worst fatal error.
Oh.
I said Lindsay when I mean to say Mackenzie Schroeder.
Mackenzie Schroeder. Okay.
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie Schroeder. Okay.
Lindsay's on my.
I know it's a lot of
she's
Lindsay.
on my tongue right now.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. It's a lot of Lindsays. Yeah, you know. That's all right. I'll edit it for sure. Well, you know, Andrea Yates was kind of the most famous.
That's when my kids had to start taking showers. You know, I was like, I don't care. My kids can't take baths anymore. That, you know, I think that was probably when I was struggling like the worst.
Yeah,
and
that's
the
hard.
time when like
Yeah.
I was hyper vigilant over my kids' safety.
Right, and it's like
know what I mean?
nothing else could kind of peel that away.
Yeah, and it was like, and I don't even need to give you a bath anymore. You need to get in the shower. So, you know, changed my whole, and she doesn't even want to be out. And it might be for her own, I don't know that she's capable of living in society.
Yeah.
So that might be a good choice for everyone.
Yeah.
A lot of us don't get to have the choice. We have to live in society.
Yes,
We
it's
have
hard.
to, you know.
Full time. You know, that's another thing too. You know, it is interesting that Clancy is still expected to work and work. Like full-time jobs are like backbreaking. No matter what, full-time jobs by themselves cause mental issues.
She could still be a really awesome nurse. I
Could,
think
yeah.
that she might even be a better nurse. There's example of people who, like, especially in the nursing community, where their children have died, maybe not of their own hands, but they've been able to bring it back into things. You know, I think she should go back to school and be a nurse practitioner.
Well, you know, it's interesting. Some of the, some of the detractors, though, it is interesting to bring that up. Some of the detractors think that she was so I don't agree, but it's an interesting theory, that she was so unhappy with the day-to-day, with the full-time job, with the kids, with the drudgery, that she's like, all right, I could do this, become famous, get out in a year from the mental facility, and then like start a YouTube and make a lot of money and like start my own podcast and have. But I don't know, you know, and I'd say that the reason that would be dumb is because like she's not Karen Reed. Where like, so for example, like I showed up early and I figured I'd be here for the whole trial because I figured people would be here the whole time, but they weren't. They're only there for the first day and now towards the end. Right, and Karen Reed, people were there. It was fruitful for me because I could speak with people every day. I went to the Diddy trial. I don't think he's a sympathetic character, but he had a lot of fans and you could speak with people. But you know, Lindsay Clancy, no, like she's still not going to have fans, right? Like she's an important symbol for respecting the mental health of mothers in the future, but nobody is like, I think, I don't know if maybe you feel that. I mean, does anybody feel like, oh, I really like Lindsay personally and think she's like this awesome person?
I think she's stoic. I think she's a good little soldier.
Yeah.
That's like my basic.
Yeah.
I think she's still heavily medicated.
Yes.
I still think she feels horribly
Hard to
responsible
Casey.
for her kids. Like,
Right.
I think this needs to like die down, and she needs to have a little normalcy.
Right.
And then those might be things that we can move forward in the future on.
Right.
You know, it might be good for her to go back and get educated and do something
Yeah.
that she can.
Yeah.
She wants to run a wheelchair marathon. I think that.
I heard that.
Regardless, she should be allowed to come out of a mental facility or jail to do
Right.
it. She can
Right.
have police officers running right next to her. Like, I'm really into, like, call me like a bleeding heart liberal or whatever.
Yeah.
But the prison system isn't supposed to be the end. Even
No,
if you do
fair.
something heinous.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be able to, like, be, like, rehabilitated, I guess. Like, you know, I struggle because I don't know that the, like, I want to say in Denmark, they have, like, their facilities don't have, like, outdoors and stuff.
No.
You can stay there.
Yep.
It's, like, a lot more,
They have a giant like outdoor space where it's like the size of a park. like the size of like a city park versus like a tiny square.
Yeah.
But that, that's always interesting too. That falls into interesting political arguments too, because there are people who've been in Denmark who murder somebody, they get out in 20 years, and in the meantime, they live in a facility that's comparable to like a 2-star hotel, which I don't know. Like, I feel like that's probably not okay. But maybe that's my conservatism.
I stayed at that 2-star hotel last night.
Right.
No, literally.
There you go. Okay, good.
It wasn't scary.
That's funny. Right. That's fine.
A lot of them are living there. They don't have to pay a deposit. They
No.
get their sheets changed every day.
Right.
They
It's
get clean
not awful.
towels.
Right. Get their own shower. Yeah.
Yeah, they're actually, and I mean, even with the health, not the healthcare, the housing crisis we have now is like.
Yeah.
Same,
So
same.
that's an interesting argument too. But I don't think the facility where she will go will be very nice or anything. This is not Norway or Denmark or Sweden or all the Nordic countries have very good lockup facilities, good correctional facilities, but not.
I'm Danish to a.
Oh, cool! You are
degree.
okay.
So
Interesting. Cool.
Yeah,
So there you
my
go.
mom is like
Heritage.
half Danish.
Oh, cool.
I think.
Okay. Cool. Oh, quite. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm like a
Cool.
quarter Danish or something.
Funny. Well, you should say, hey, you have great healthcare system.
No. And they say, well, you pay taxes, but like for the amount of taxes we pay, we don't get representation. In fact, we were supporting, like, what was the Brian company?
Yeah. You're talking about the Idaho guy. Yeah. All for him to plead guilty, and then now he's going to change it. But I don't think that's going to be successful. Right.
So I don't know that people get representation of what they pay for.
Right.
So that's a real problem, and especially.
Right. Well, she is a good lawyer in this situation. Oh, here's a fun question. What do you think if she had a court-appointed attorney? Do you think it would have been the prosecutors would have been able to have a slam dunk case?
Well, I don't think we've ever seen it. I
Right.
don't think it would have got that much because I think that probably Kevin was pretty influential in making sure that it got public.
Well, and he was such a fascinating to watch character too, and entertaining in that regard. So
There's like Reddington's best 10 moments or something.
Right.
And
Right.
there's some real he's actually becoming very beloved as.
Yeah, people
as a
are
really
fans of him.
important
Yeah.
Figure for,
Right.
And
He's done a few before.
And like his age is like, wow, at his age, but it's typical of his age. Look at what he's seen throughout his lifetime.
Yeah.
So that's very nice.
Yeah. So cool. Be interested to see what happens.
Yeah.
I'd imagine within 10 minutes
They're
it
all
might start
gonna
coming
do
out.
it.
Yeah. I gotta hover a little bit.
With my crew. Over
Yeah,
there.
1000%. 1000%. I gotta be at her.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna ask you right now because I need to be on.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you. Good to meet you. See you soon. Cool, guys. So that was a long convo. We'll talk to some other people as well. I'll read your chats because we missed some few chats. I wouldn't say I'm in agreement with a lot of her sympathizers. I'll just say that. I think I'm a little more. I think sometimes evil does not deserve any mercy, but I'll read the comments. But I understand people's advocacy and what they went through, and I understand their perspective completely. Kiki says, thanks for being there covering this, Dodge. Thank you for saying thank you. Thanks for watching, Kiki. I appreciate it. Amber Waits of Grain, what's going on? This is the Lindsay Clancy trial. She is the mother who murdered her 3 children with an exercise band. We were speaking with a woman dressed in pink who her son took his own life tragically, but she's using that name to advocate for Lindsay. So we had a really nice conversation. Very smart person. We had a really nice conversation. I liked her a lot. That's why I go to meet passionate people like her and really understand why they're there. It's outside the Lindsay Clancy trial. I'd imagine anybody in the chat wants to tell me. I'd imagine closing arguments are concluding about now-ish. So I'd imagine people will be coming in but we'll see. Democratic support for child murder and victimhood is frightening. Y'all are sick, says Old Knight. Again, I kind of feel you on that comment, quite frankly. And I do wonder, well, that's my right-wing side speaking, and my left-wing side speaking, is I do wonder, is Lindsay getting a lot of this because she's an attractive white woman, right? If this was an overweight black woman, would there not be the sympathy for her? Right? There was an African American woman who got found guilty for killing her husband, who was abusive. That did not get the same amount of press. I think she appealed to. I hope she appealed. The media always does a big story like this every decade or so about kids. Well, there's every decade or so there's somebody who's going to kill their kid, you know. So yeah, but fair point. Andrea Yates, and, there's a bunch of them. She is a demon, says Steve. Her eyes are dead. No excuse for killing your damn children. That's the big argument, right? Is there an excuse? I'd say there probably shouldn't be, quite frankly. But I understand the perspective saying there shouldn't, but especially because she had some healthcare experience as well, and would know more than others how to. Part of me, a lot of this is like, in the specifics, I understand what she was going through, and I understand the passion. And this is somebody speaking with no child. The other part of me is like, she should not have had a single child. There is a recklessness of people who create other human beings who deal with deep mental problems that are so bad they are either incredibly likely to pass it on to their child, or they could do something rash. If you do not have what it takes in your bones in terms of responsibility, in terms of presentness, in terms of staying focused, in terms of always making the right decisions, you should not be a parent. And I do think there's been an epidemic for the past, since the founding of our nation, of people having children when they are not meant to have children. I honestly think, as I've traveled to 50 states and met a lot of different types of people, known a lot of different types of people, I think the amount of people who are actually meant to have kids who do versus don't, I think it's like 40%. 60% of people who have children should never have had a child in the first place. And if you're going through deep mental issues the whole time and you don't have children, then there's a lot less damage that happens. I understand the mental issues she was going through, but then I lack some sympathy because she went through postpartum even with her second child and then decided to have a third. I think there is this devotion to religiosity, and there is a devotion to being the normal family and doing what everybody else does. It's just what you do, right? You just have kids. Well, you don't have to. But there are some people who don't think intelligently and think, I am just eager to fit in. And there should be punishment for her, for these kids being created. So PSA, if you have deep mental issues, you will not be, maybe this is me, I think this is me being unsympathetic, but I mean, obviously there are a lot of great parents with deep mental issues as well, but if there's something that is really prohibiting you from functioning, or you see those feelings, it could become an issue. But if you have major mental health issues during the incident, then you would have it after and it would be seen. Well, some people feel that, but a lot of people felt like she was exhibiting mental health issues before as well. Yes, but that's fair. I mean, I understand. I'm kind of one of the few that really understands both sides. I completely understand both sides and their emotions, because Bob Cox makes a point. Her doctors overprescribing her didn't help. No. And that's what, I'm glad I spoke with that woman, because she was saying how difficult it is to get the right care that you need. And that was enlightening. And some people think the Clancy aspect is a different conversation altogether. Then if Clancy was manipulating her the whole time, then she should be let off, right? And I think that's a distinct possibility. If Clancy was that voice directing her, then she should be let off. I think there's if she killed her kid, then I would say I'm less sympathetic than some people supporting her. I'm not as angry at her as the detractors either. I think I fall more in the middle, but nothing better to do. that is true. But, you know, we got a nice amount of people watching. Uncle Andy said nothing better to do. But we got a nice amount of people watching. This is a big moment, but duly noted. If you have major mental health, yeah, we read that. Second degree. Yeah, Bob, I think you might be right. Bob Cox predicts second degree watch. I don't think that's a bad prediction at all. Hey, Jen. She is a full-grown adult, says Steve Mears. Grow up and don't kill your kids. Amber Waves. Oh, we read that. Amber Waves Agreeing says the mom would absolutely serve life too if reversed. Kiki says both parents are responsible for the care of their children and what happens. This is true. He ignored the situation, encouraged dangerous mental situations. Agreed. We got a lot of comments. The media always does a big story like this every decade or so about kids. Read that. Old Tonight says, bitch had a nanny. What was a problem? Life got too easy and boring. And that's an argument that people make too, that she had a lot of unique care, the money for that unique care that other people didn't have. But the other argument is, even with that, she was still failed. Steve Mears says all these women's husbands should use this footage to prove these women are a danger to these kids, says Steve. Well, Amber Way says, well, if the mom left him with the kids and had the same evidence, they would definitely both lose custody. Yeah, well, I think we could all agree on that. If the kids were around, neither parent should have custody of them. Well, I mean, that's the thing too. Like, I don't think Patrick should have custody of the. I think that was a rumor. But if there is a child on the way, I don't think he should have custody of that child. Guys, this just makes me very pro-abortion. Kiki says both parents are responsible for the care of the children. What happens? Ignore the situation and encourage dangerous mental situations. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Hey, Sunshine. Says hi, Jen and Bob. Cool. All right, let's talk to some more people now that we've read the comments. You know, maybe I'm too wishy-washy, but maybe it's good to be wishy-washy because you really understand the emotions of both types of people, why they're here. How you doing? I got a little YouTube. Love to ask you what you're feeling about the tree. Okay, no worries. How are you? Good. I got YouTube. No pressure, but I'd love to ask you what you think about the trial, unless you're media. Okay, there you go. I figure it's probably mostly media. So you got a lot of media. Some of this is just kind of looking at the door. Does anybody in the chat want it? I mean, I might check. Guys, give me a moment. I'm going to check on the status is of everything in terms of what's happening with. I'm just going to look at updates unless somebody wants to tell me. Don't go away. Give me 20 seconds. Jury is deliberating. So this is the big wait. This is the big hurry up and wait. Closing arguments have concluded. I caught little snippets. I caught all of Reddington's closing argument, which I think he just kind of brought home. And he kind of wanted to paint Clancy as a general victim. And also kind of wanted to portray her as somebody who's kind of being bullied. So that was kind of his crux. And then I'm curious, I was talking with people while the closing argument was happening, but the jury is deliberating. The longer it takes, the better it is for Clancy, I would say. If it's super quick, it's probably not good. So we'll see if there's anybody interesting coming out of the courtroom. I don't know what the policy of that. I mean, I see all the media set up. I don't know what the policy is for if Reddington is going to show up and do a little press conference. I surmise he probably will. There's a pool guy. This is the gentleman, if there's a video of me of interviewing the gentleman who's responsible for the entire pool.
All right.
Mr. Morgenstern, appreciate your interview the other day. You're the best. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to scare you. So that guy is, you want to check out a video on my YouTube. I interviewed him for a moment. He's the man that is responsible for filming everything. How you doing?
Good. I hope it worked out for you.
Very well. Clipped it. It's a nice little video. I appreciate it. He was a cool guy. So yeah, that's the gentleman who films everything. And if you want to look at the video, I asked him a little bit about what the tactic is. He had to kind of be on the ball, and as you noticed, the camera was really effective in filming the person's face the entire time they're speaking, and not having any cut off between the previous person concluding and the next person speaking. And he said he has to think about when would be logical if they would end a sentence, and then try to move that camera over there.
They went to get lunch. He's a goober.
The jury's going to talk amongst themselves, take a vote. They don't have an agreement. They'll probably break for lunch. Yeah. There's a break for lunch. But I'm curious if he's going to come out or not. That's kind of why we're doing this. Try, guys. One of the few on the ground.
Are you guys getting moved?
So there is a press conference thing set up. Hey, do you know if he'll give a press conference now-ish or
I've heard
way
around
later?
1:30.
1:30. Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. I just have a little YouTube, so rely on you guys.
Hey, you guys been having a problem with broadcasting on YouTube today?
I haven't.
Okay.
Have other people?
Yeah, other people have said they've been dropped and kicked out and blocked.
Weird,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
That's
I've
strange.
heard a couple people.
I wonder if somebody has like a signal scrambler that happens. I don't see why they would want to do that, or like why they would care.
No, I don't think it's.
It could be.
It would affect all of us.
Yeah,
We would all
yeah.
know. We would all know.
It could be simple that, like, because this is not a downtown, somewhat more isolated, there's a bunch of streaming at the same time. It might be too much data, and just like it might end up clashing.
Yeah.
Because that's happened to me before.
Yeah.
And like usually, like if you're in like the middle of New York City or Boston or whatever downtown, then like you won't have that. But if you're like more out there,
Right.
and especially like if you're, oddly enough, if you're closer to the ocean, then there's like issues too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Closer to the water. Yeah, exactly. That's why I was worried about that, like live streaming and stuff, because I was like, it's all going to be pixelated, but luckily it's not, not that isolated.
Yeah. What do you have for a carrier?
Just completely by myself, just
Oh,
independent.
so you're still carrier.
Oh, Verizon.
Verizon,
Yeah. So Verizon, I think, is kind of the best. I'd imagine.
Yeah, that's right here.
Yeah.
Not in Vermont though. I've been in Vermont.
Interesting.
There's no.
You don't get nothing. Yeah, I went up to Maine.
Yeah.
I covered some of the primary over there with the Grand Platinum and that explosion. And it was a shame because, like, in the second biggest city, like Augusta, like it was pixelated the whole time. And even there, I'm like, really? Oh, looks like we're all congregating. Cool. Run.
You're amazing.
Thank you, Randy.
See, media is not allowed to. Oh, you can hardly hear me? Thank you for letting me know. I think they said they saw Reddington. I didn't seem like I saw him. No. I think they're yelling to the wrong person. He had a similar visage, but I don't think they're one and the same. I think that's a false alarm, guys. That happened. Oh, cool. I got Brian Enton. Brian, a big fan of yours. Keep up the good work.
I plugged you to him.
Oh, you're the best. That's so sweet. Thank you. Wow. All right, got a celebrity plug. That's so sweet of you. Thank you. Cool.
I plugged, but yeah, that's
that
that
works.
just happened too.
Very cool. Still waiting for the potential press conference. They say 1:30 is more likely than not. Please do subscribe, guys. We're going back out. I don't know why. Hello, Michael. Nice to have you. Thanks for watching. There's a lot of false alarms. I just kind of run when they run. They know what they're doing. I don't. Let me know. Can you hear me? The wind is intense today. Can you hear me better? It would be nice if you could. Still deliberating, which is probably a good sign, I would say, if you're on Lindsay Clancy's team, because sometimes a deliberation can be as quick as 10, 20 minutes. So it's been longer than that at this point. So the longer it is, if you're on Lindsay's side, the better it is. I remember the Diddy situation, I think they took a few hours, which was indicative that they didn't agree with all the prosecution's charges and had to go over it, right? And so those, instead of taking 20 minutes to deliver a verdict, it took quite. They did a split verdict. It wasn't completely pro Diddy, but the timing kind of match up. I'd say the magic mark, if it's really a slam dunk, doesn't mean she's gonna succeed, but the slam dunk, usually if you're a prosecutor, is 20 minutes, and after 20 minutes. Then there's, at least after 20 minutes, that means there's enough to be argued about. There's enough of people not sure. Okay, we have another thing. I can't tell. I'm going to check it. I don't think so. Oh, cool. I got another streamer. Very cool. The only of you guys can see, I can't because of this. I can't see the screen because of the sun, but hopefully you guys can see it. I think you probably could. I'm gonna wipe it. As each minute passes, if you're Kevin Reddington, you feel more and more relieved as each minute passes. And who knows? I mean, if they end up punting it and wanting to deliberate more on more tomorrow, they can certainly do that as well. So, yeah, guess we'll see. Please do subscribe. Only while I'm filming things on the scene. There's a lot of media here, as you can see.
Scott.
Hey, are you streaming as well?
Yeah, I'm streaming for my mom.
Oh, cool. Nice. Nice. Yeah, this is a big moment, I guess. I feel like the more that time passes, the more likely it is that Reddington's going to get a favorable outcome.
Like, people in here saying that there's audio issues, but I'm like, I don't really know how to fix things up on an AirPod right now.
Yeah, you know, I think it's audio issues because I got that same comment, but I think like a lot of it's the wind.
Yeah.
And the intensity of the wind.
It's like whenever I take the AirPod out, they say it sounds much better, but it's like they can't hear me talking to them. So
Oh, really?
Dude, like terrible quality. They can't hear me talking. They can't hear me talking. That's good quality.
Oh,
I can never win.
you can always just try to do it like this, just speak really loudly and hope that they hear you. You know, that's I never do the external stuff because yeah, then there could be like headaches like that. But because I think Reddington's going to give a press conference at like 1:30. Gonna try to find some other people to talk with while you're waiting, the moment of suspense. And that's the big question, is do they make a decision before lunch break or after lunch break? Ask Mr. DePetro. Hey, Mr. DePetro, how are you? Okay, I was gonna ask, but no worries if you're about to go live. You're good. Can you guys not hear me at all? Put a 1 if you cannot hear me. Well, you can't hear me, so how can you put a 1? But Papa, can you hear me? Papa, can you hear me? Try to go to a somewhat less windy area. Also looking at the time, so in about a half hour, I think we should be.
Yeah, I think you said when he just came to 115, does that mean that? We're talking about something completely different.
No, I was confused too.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it was like something maybe happened or something like.
Nobody said anything. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe.
Trying to find somebody who's not media. We will ask them. How are you?
Hey, good. How's it going?
Good, thank you. No pressure. I got a little YouTube. Would love to ask you what you're thinking about the trial. How are you feeling?
I can tell you this. I'm very grateful I'm not on that jury. I'm a licensed therapist from Texas.
Oh, cool.
And I followed the case loosely from home. I'm just here on vacation. I didn't come here for this trial.
Wow, welcome.
But
Dressing
it
vacation.
appears that my field, the mental health field, failed her miserably. And it's sharing a spotlight, putting a spotlight, a very poor spotlight on my field, and it needs to.
Very well put. What kind of mental health do you do?
I'm a licensed therapist, trauma, anxiety, depression, eating disorders, addiction, alcoholism.
And you saw somebody dealing with trauma. You saw what she was going through as clear signs of trauma and even perhaps clear signs of psychosis.
You know, I believe I'm a very effective therapist, and in my career I've only seen probably 5 women that struggled with postpartum anxiety or depression, because that's not my niche.
Right.
But if somebody like Lindsay walked into my office, I would refer her to an expert. I would refer to somebody that had a lot of training in that, because I don't.
Interesting. So you feel like there needed to be somebody with a very specific postpartum unique expertise. Do you think she was failed to not getting that as expert care as perhaps she could have gotten?
Yeah, at least train, because my license allows me to treat, but then we have to go in and we have to further educate ourselves and train ourselves when we carve out whatever our niche clientele is that we want to work with. So, and I think that there's a special place for postpartum anything.
Yeah.
So,
And what do you think is going to be the outcome of the verdict?
I have no idea, to be honest with you. I didn't follow it enough
Sure.
to know what all the evidence was and testimony. So I don't know. My heart goes out to her parents, his parents, her, the kids. Certainly, they're the victims in all of this. And I teach future counselors, so we will certainly be talking about this in class.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I hope that law schools follow this Kevin Reddington's, whatever you want to call it, in there for years to come, because he really seems like he did his homework.
Interesting. And so you'll teach future. Don't let me keep you if your friends are dispersed. But so what specifics are you going to teach now after this case for teaching counselors? Are you going to look at trying to make sure they have a full expansion of healthcare providers they refer people, or what would be some of those specific changes you might employ?
So continuum of care is one thing that comes to my mind. Staying within our scope, within our niche. If that's who you want to work with, is postpartum psychosis or anything postpartum, be sure you get yourself further educated beyond master's degree would provide. Things like that.
Yeah.
And not just check the box. And then documentation. Documentation is so important, but it's one of those things, because people ask me if I think AI will replace therapists, and there's no way to ever replace this.
Right.
So I'm not
Interesting.
concerned that AI will take my job.
And then right. And then I'm curious. Where in Texas are you from? I lived in Midland for a while in El Paso.
I love that. Yeah.
North Carolina. Oh, cool. Okay. I spent 6 weeks recently. I did the Texas primary. Went all around. In Putnam County, an hour north of New York City.
Oh, okay.
So, but I've done local TV news, so we kind of hop all around the country, and I always really liked Texas, so I did.
Yeah.
I interned for a station in El Paso, and then for about a year I worked at a station in Midland.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So
it's hot as hell over there.
Yeah, I must say, yes. And your side of Texas, much prettier.
Yeah,
Much prettier
it is.
than West Texas
Yeah.
or Central Texas. Like because Houston has all these beautiful like bayous and rivers and lakes, big trees everywhere, and then it's really, I really think like Midland's one of the really nice people at least, but it's one of the ugliest like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I always thought it was like one of the ugliest in terms of nature places, but. But I liked Mexico a lot, so I'd cross the border and stuff.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
So do you have
it's
a
fun.
card?
I don't. Unfortunately, I can write down my channel if you're interested. I appreciate the interest.
Okay, cool.
Okay, my mom was just telling me that. She says she's going to order me a set of cards, which is nice when I get home.
All right, what's it called?
Dodge, D-O-D-G-E. And then Landesman, L-A-N-D-E-S-M-A-N. Appreciate the interest.
And so go to YouTube and
Yeah.
type that in?
Yeah. Well, that's it. I have such an uncommon name.
D-E-S-M-A-N.
Yeah.
And then YouTube.
Yeah, Dodge like the car.
Yeah, I love that.
That's nice of you.
Yeah, cool. It's
Cool.
an honor.
Thank you for talking to me.
Yeah,
You're the best. I
of
appreciate it.
course, yeah.
I guess
I'm just hanging out.
cool. It's an interesting seed to absorb. 1,000%. Really is. So yeah, I guess we'll see all what happens. I would say it's good for Reddington. It's good for Clancy. Each minute that passes by is less likely that she'll just be guilty. Period.
Okay, is that?
So yeah, that's the, and I've experienced that in the past. So I covered the Diddy trial, for example, which was interesting. That was fun because there were people there every day. I feel he's not that sympathetic of a character, but some people found he had his supporters.
I bet he did.
Yeah, certainly. But it was interesting because I think they took like 2 hours to deliberate, and they kind of split it. But there's a lot of assumption that if he was guilty, like just pure guilty, they would only deliberate for 20 to 30 minutes. And it already 30 minutes have gone by since the jury's supposed to make their decision. So it's like I feel like each minute past 30 shows that she's going to get a favorable outcome.
Each minute past 30.
Yeah. Is like, because then there's at least enough to be debated and there's disagreement in the room.
Okay, so that's favorable.
Yes, I would say now, I would lean it now, just looking at the timing, I'd lean it now more towards favorable for Clancy than the other way around. Of course, they could do one of three options. So they, but I would almost, I mean, it's arrogant to say, but I would almost assume that most severe charge is off the table.
Okay.
That would just be it's just conjecture. I could be 1,000% wrong, but I don't think I am. Because I think if it was the most severe one, it would have been like, they would have decided it. Now the question is, does she only get sent to the hospital? Does she get manslaughter?
Okay.
And that was kind of interesting to people covering because kind of those new options kind of just sprung up.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Thank you for teaching me that.
Sure, of course. Yeah. No, it's just, and you kind of figure it out by just going to a bunch of these different things, and that's always kind of the most exciting moment. Is like, all right, can we analyze it just by like timing of the jury? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think so
at this
far so
point,
good.
30 minutes.
What a vacation! You decided to go to Plymouth just a vacation, or your family
We're just
here?
doing the East Coast.
Oh, I love that.
I'm
Cool.
traveling with my gay best friend. It's
I love
our
cool.
birthday.
How
Our birthday
fun.
is Saturday.
Oh, happy birthday!
Yeah,
Cool.
both of us.
So are you gonna do Boston, New York City?
We're doing Boston,
Cool.
Baltimore, Maryland.
Nice.
And then we'll end up in Washington, D.C.
Okay, cool. And then fly home from there.
Yeah.
Not bad. Quicker flight from DC too.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Versus from up here, because you cover so much ground. I travel the country like 10 months a year. So I've seen. Yeah. I've been to all 50 states, but you chose a good route. And you think are you going to skip New York? Just like too much of a headache to drive in?
I've been to.
Oh, you already done it.
You know what? I let him pick the itinerary.
Okay, I like
to be
that.
honest
Smart.
with you. And like I did say a couple of weeks ago, I said, hey, if Lindsay Clancy trial's still going on, I'm going.
Perfect.
And
Yeah,
we
why
just
not?
got here yesterday,
Oh,
so
cool.
I got up and drove over here today.
Nice.
So yeah.
Are you right in Plymouth? Are you staying in Plymouth? That's the town that this is in.
No, we're in Boston.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so a bit of a trip for you then.
Yeah.
Cool. Good for you.
Yeah.
See you right there.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to go. My phone is about to die.
Oh no,
of
I'm sorry.
course. No, so do you think Kevin Reddington's coming out here?
So yes, apparently from what I've heard in 20 minutes.
Okay.
1:30. So you're at a prime. I might be closer to you too because you can see from the other way. But you're actually in a very prime location. So he should be like right here.
Okay, good.
Well, thank you. Thank you for
No
sharing
worries.
your
Good to
wisdom.
meet you. Appreciate the interest and feel free to drop a comment and say hello to the
Oh, I
YouTube.
will,
But
will.
yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I will.
And who knows if they take forever, they might go until tomorrow. So maybe I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay,
So.
yeah. Have a good one.
Thank you. Enjoy your trip. Appreciate it. Hopefully you guys can hear me better than you were able to hear me in the past. I might sneak out for another cigarette. I got bad addiction issues. I need my own mental health.
prosecution didn't go first, and the defense should have gone second.
Yeah.
I feel like they did that on purpose.
Sorry, guys. Put a 1. I said I accidentally muted. Put a 1 if you can hear me. Interesting. And how do you think the result is going to be ultimately?
I don't know. I mean, that in any case, the jury could take minutes. It could take days.
Well, it's been over 30, so my feeling it's going to be more of a favorable like the more time passes. Yeah.
I believe that it'll be in defense, yeah.
Do you think there's any credence that Clancy might have wanted to convince her to do this or set her up? Some people feel that way.
Patrick?
Yeah. Patrick, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So if you're in denial, if you don't believe that there's a possibility that he met Rachel before the event, that he knew Rachel, he knew his now wife,
right.
that he moved in with only 4 months, how quickly, how much of a red flag is that for a man to move on that quickly after losing all 3 of his children and his wife, his marriage? Like whether or not there were issues between the two of them or not, but like honestly, the way that they painted the picture in the courtroom is that they had a good marriage. Like they couldn't question the marriage. It was about, so imagine if they were able to bring any of that in. I feel like someone even said, because there's so much speculation, someone even said that because there's a lot of things that they're not allowed to tell the public. So someone said that they believed that Reddington showed a picture to Patrick on the stand that was like him and his now wife.
Interesting.
To make him kind of like get a reaction.
Funny.
Yeah.
It does seem weird. It does, especially, it's not only like this horrific accident happened, moving on quickly, but then you realize that while you're getting married to somebody and exploring if you want a new partner, you're also every day having to deal with a massively high profile trial.
Oh yeah, he's going to be followed around for who knows how long, especially with the fact that there are so many people that believe he's guilty.
Right.
Even if it's the smallest bit of negligence, leaving her alone, because that should have never happened. He well knew her mental state.
Right.
So I don't agree with the fact that he even left her alone.
Yeah, there's been no material proof of any of that.
But everything that they literally went off of was everything that Patrick said on the stand.
Right.
So it was just his testimony of what he said the series of events occurred that night. And so I believe also, and I didn't say this, that the police really did a shitty job investigating. They just took his word.
Do you think it's weird they didn't hold him and question him for 6 hours?
They didn't at
take
all.
Him to station.
Yeah, they didn't at all.
Right.
They never did.
It's kind of pro forma if that happens. There are 3 dead children.
Right. And I get it. No matter what really happened that night in that house, the fact that their whole entire life was twisted upside down. He wasn't allowed to go back into the home that he had been in with for multiple years with his wife and his kids.
Right.
But that's the thing. They took his word. They responded to a call of a woman near death on snow, on a snow-covered ground, in the backyard, and 3 kids dead.
Right. I assume you're from this side of the woods, so you're doing reads. What do people in your area feel? Is it everybody pretty much in support, or there's some people?
I'm literally watching someone TikTok live just discussing the entire case right now.
That's hilarious.
Is so
That's funny.
back and forth.
Yeah.
And no offense to you because you're a man, but
No,
there are
you're
a
good.
lot of people that are it's divided. So they're saying that how dare women take her side? There are men making videos but it's you'll never understand what postpartum depression feels
Right, you
like.
can't relate.
I've suffered from it.
Oh, you have?
I have.
Okay.
I know what postpartum depression feels like. I couldn't imagine, because that's the thing. We can thank our lucky stars that we've never ever been in psychosis. And I know the difference between psychosis and postpartum psychosis because my son has suffered psychosis before. So it's and that's completely different. Anything could bring on psychosis. But the fact that having a baby can bring that on. And like, especially if she actually was bipolar prior to, and then having one child, you know, basically after another, that didn't help, you know. So
Yeah.
it's awful. I'm so beside myself with the,
Well, and you can relate to her uniquely.
I mean,
did you have similar I mean, probably not to the extent, but did you have feelings of anger towards your kids, or if you don't mind me asking?
So no, for me, and I was able to. The thing is, I felt the same way she did, and was scared to talk to anybody about it, except for my closest friend at that time, because it is scary to say, like, if you're having those thoughts. So for me, I'm thankful. My postpartum depression took a turn where I was more hyper focused on protecting my children, ironically, that I was so scared that everyone else would hurt my kids.
So you didn't have that feeling.
So I became
the same
obsessive.
thing that she was concerned. The kids are in danger.
I in a way was in the beginning state of her state of when she was afraid something was wrong with the kids. And so, yeah, but at the same time, it was me, it was my conscious, it was my thoughts, and it's really scary. Like, you know, you have visuals of the possibility of like the awful things that could happen to you or your kids. That's terrifying. So, you know, luckily I didn't have to be on medication or anything like that. I was okay. And I ended up being brave and went to the doctors and you know, because they automatically have that 6 month or 6 week postpartum appointment set up for you. Right. But I had my daughter during COVID.
Oh God.
So I had to do it virtually. I couldn't even be physically in the doctor's office.
I assume that makes a difference. You feel,
huge difference. Right. Huge difference. You had to actually, like, they literally made me weigh myself at home. Like the stuff that I would have, and I had high blood pressure. I had postpartum eclampsia actually too, so I had a health condition after the fact, and I almost unalived. I had a C-section, so emergency C-section, and my daughter almost unalived as well. So it was already traumatic as it was.
Yeah,
you know?
that's a whole lot of trauma early on.
So that actually caused my postpartum depression. It was it was COVID. It was all of that, almost dying, and then from that moment on, worrying about my child, worrying if she was going to be okay, and like we couldn't go anywhere because of COVID.
And what was the concern about the danger? Like, was it like, do you feel somebody would do something, or did you just feel like the atmosphere, COVID happening?
COVID.
Interesting. But there was that definitive reason of like, I'm scared my kids can remain safe, right?
Yes.
Interesting.
And then we ended up all getting COVID like almost 2 years later.
Oh, wow.
My daughter ended up having a seizure because of it.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
So that didn't help.
It was a fountain of fear.
I actually had been okay in an okay state all that time, you know, from like a few months into having her, and then almost 2 years later we get COVID. She has her first seizure, and so now she has epilepsy. She was diagnosed recently, and so I have PTSD. I have insomnia. Like I have, you know, and I'm still standing.
Yeah,
I get it. Like I couldn't imagine
holding it down. Respect. Not easy.
I could not imagine ever be, and that's the thing. No one will ever be able to question how she felt in that moment of psychosis, because if you've never experienced it, you'd never know. Right. And even if she really was hearing voices or not, like even if it was her subconscious telling her that she was awful human, like basically she had those like awful thoughts that she wasn't going to get better, that she was broken, that's enough. That's enough to drive you crazy, you know? Yeah. You don't need I feel for her, and I'm not gonna lie. I was like ready to crucify her just like everybody else because of the news. Yeah. Because so the way that they made it. Well, because we didn't know. That's why I'm here to actually get perspective. Yeah, and have like we didn't know anything about the case. We had no idea what happened that night. We just knew that kids were killed by a parent, and everyone's ready to crucify her. Right. You know, and nobody knew what it was. We just thought that like it was just like a slain thing, you know, that the parent just unalived their kids, and that was that. Yeah, there's more to it. Yeah. Only a mother is at risk of suffering postpartum depression and psychosis after having a baby. Right. So like, it's just the fact that even exists. That experience. Yeah, just the fact that even exists is awful. Right. It shouldn't be a thing, and that's where they failed the mental health evaluation or consideration. Yeah. Just the entire system failed her. and the fact that they even brought it up too just the other day, that she was even telling people at her kids' school that she was brave enough to even tell people,
Right,
other parents,
right.
like, you know, and not
Right, that's
thinking
she
they
did
could.
reach out to a multitude.
She was
right.
trying,
Right.
yeah, right. Like, that's scary. Like, for me, like, I would be like, oh my god, I don't want people to judge me. Like, especially if I don't know them like well enough.
Yeah.
It's like, if anything, like, you're gonna only feel comfortable to tell your family. Like she, of course, her first person that she knew to trust at the time was her husband, and then her mom. And then even his mom, Patrick's mom, she was also a labor and delivery nurse.
Right.
So,
Right.
like, they're all in the medical field, so they literally know about postpartum depression and psychosis. And that's the thing too. It's like, even if you know, like, if you've actually studied this, like, as you become a medical professional, there's just no way to, like, weigh that when you are actually experiencing it. It's like, what do you? I know too many people that, even nurses. When my daughter had one of her seizures, my neighbor's a nurse, or she had been a nurse for like 30 years, and she was so quick to, like, help me and, you know, and get
of course, he had that
meds.
anchor, yeah.
But then she told me a story after we safely got my daughter, you know, like, into the as I'm literally hyperventilating, sobbing, getting her into the ambulance. She goes, my son had a seizure, and everything, all of my training went out the window, and I panicked too.
Really?
Like,
Interesting. So there goes to argue that Clancy had all this experience.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point, is that, like, you when it's your kid,
right,
it's so different. Like, you have that connection that no one else will, because it's your child. So yeah, she was like, everything went out the window. She's like, I forgot all my training, and I full on panicked. And she's like, I was, you know, I'm fit to take care of anyone. She's like, it's so easy for me to take care of somebody when it's not, when they're not related to me. It's so funny. I'm like, I get it, you know. And I'm like, thank you for telling me that. Yeah. So that really helped me feel better, because I felt so guilty for panicking and not, you know, like, doing what I needed to do right away.
Yeah, but they feel differently, you know. They can't really. Interesting.
Exactly. So, like, all her training was in a box stored the fuck away.
Yeah.
Like, she was not there to
Yeah.
use that.
Yeah. Well put. Well, thank you. I think that he's going to do a press conference kind of soon.
Yeah, well, Reddington already left a while. Like, now, how long?
He did. Yeah, that's, people think he's going to come back, but I don't know. He said he'd come back at 1:30.
Right? He'll be here tomorrow.
Well, will they?
I don't know.
Is it lunch break now, or I have to look at the updates? I appreciate you checking, because I can't. I'm streaming, so I can.
Yeah. Let me double check.
That's nice of you.
I've been watching the Crime Desk, or, like,
cool.
Court TV streaming
Cool.
on TikTok.
Yeah, like CNN will have a live update, or like NBC will have one. Yeah. Appreciate you checking.
They have jury deliveries.
So they're still deliberating. So there is no lunch break.
Right now. I mean, like, obviously they're all breaking except for the jurors.
Right. That's what I'm wondering,
is
is he going to do a conference before the jury says anything?
Yeah.
But
well, they got the cameras ready to go.
I know, that's what and they have
assume they're gonna be.
Yeah, they have the stands ready and everything. But I wonder if that's being
all the news stations.
Yeah, you can see all of them, right? WCVB TV, WCB TV, 7. Yeah. Did you watch any of them or no?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, but not the Fox National. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was unique. That was awesome. Yeah, no, there's not. So yeah, I guess that's so they're still deliberating then.
Yep.
Which
I was inside.
Oh, you're inside. Cool.
Yeah. So I was inside.
Were you in the courtroom?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So he said the judge said that they would be on recess, and so right before that they picked the 12 jurors and the alternates, and they swore in the officers that are going to protect the jury and things like that, and then he just said that they're free to deliberate and they're on recess. That's all he knew.
So then, does that mean that is the jury on recess or no? Just everybody else, and the jury's deliberating.
Right. Itself is in recess. He did mention in their instructions that they can delay. They can delay like the deliberations until after lunch.
Right.
Or they could work through lunch, but that would be a decision that they would make on their own.
Okay.
So would Lindsay
appreciate that.
She was when I left.
Really? How long ago did you get out of there?
I've been down here for maybe like 10, 15 minutes.
Oh wow, so she's up there. So, and we saw Reddington, but that was like at least a half an hour ago.
Yeah.
So he must be back up in there then if she's in there.
Probably is.
He booked it, like he fast walked it that way.
Yeah, I did not stop and
In
talk.
his car.
I don't
Yeah.
blame him. He's probably
I don't
like
either.
right now, like he's probably a ball of nerves.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's out here waiting. Look at all this. Like, that's nerve wracking.
The one thing I will like say is that I think that the jury itself, like they have been so attentive. Like
Have they? I was curious. So none of them were falling asleep or like.
No,
They were like
Really,
they
writing
were
notes
in
and
there writing
everything.
notes, like
Cool.
They came
That's
in. They were
really
like
good.
very serious, and they
Glad
took
to know.
I feel like they took every instruction, every witness, and the evidence serious. They were all
That's
like
awesome.
writing in a way that's
Cool.
not just like, oh, let me just do it. They were actually trying to engage with the material.
Yeah,
and-
because they've not once showed them on camera, which makes sense.
Which
They're
is good.
protecting them. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Because
you
cameras will be shoved in their faces.
you saw them. Can I ask how they look like racially or
All
age-wise or
age-wise,
gender-wise?
Oh my goodness.
All ages, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I felt like age-wise, I don't think I saw anyone probably under like 35.
Interesting.
Wow.
Huh.
I think most of them are like 35 and up. And I think it's very diverse. There's a lot of men
Cool.
and women. So
Okay.
I think, but the point is, like, who they finally chose for the 12, you don't really know.
Right.
Who's numbers.
Right.
And like, and so I don't know which is which. So that threw off my.
Funny.
That even threw me off. I didn't even know that. My sister just told me that. She said it was her 18 that heard it, and then it was the final 12 that get to it.
Yeah.
After.
But they did that because very understandably, things come up.
Of course,
and,
yeah.
Maybe you're not feeling well, or
Right.
something else you have to attend to, and they just allow them to, move in
It's
the alternate.
intense. It's literally in
Yeah.
their hands. Like that.
Yeah,
That's
Scary.
I just think that the judge said specifically the reason why they had 18 jurors for this specific case is because he was like, just in case somebody has to drop out, they didn't want to have to
Right,
start
yeah.
the trial all over again.
Oh,
and
God.
so it's essentially created more than enough.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Little
that
cushion.
everybody
Yeah.
has the same information.
Very
Everybody, is
Interesting.
ready to go.
That makes sense.
And the alternates will be kept separate. He said that the alternates
Okay.
will be kept separate from the 12. So the alternates are still like present.
Oh, so they're ready to step in. Okay, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense. I love your outfit, by the way.
Yeah, I love the baby blue and the floral print. You look great.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
I was like, I saw Lindsay today, so this morning
Cool.
I woke up and I just said a prayer for her, and I was like,
Beautiful.
okay, let me figure out what I'm gonna wear today. And I
Yeah.
saw she had baby blue on too. I was like,
Oh, really? Cool.
yes. I was like, oh,
Oh, I love
I was
that.
like, okay. I was
Oh,
like,
you chose the right
Lord,
outfit.
just cover her.
I love that.
You know, I can
That
only
must have been
imagine.
intense seeing her. That's what
Yeah,
I've been hearing.
She's so sweet, and she's so.
Does she have a sweet demeanor when you actually see her?
That's what I mean. When I
Interesting.
say sweet, I
Yeah.
mean like just her mannerisms, her demeanor.
Have
it's
you
just
watched
very,
her?
very kind.
Have you
Interesting.
watched her videos of her, like prior to having kids, like her nursing?
Yeah.
Like she's just like the sweetest. Like you could tell she was really good at her job. And
Yeah.
awful. Like no one would give that up.
Right. This is how it ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like people's interpretation of like who she is and things like that, and their perspective. Some people are on the side of the prosecution, some are on the defense. I think at the end of the day, people need to understand that these are real people.
Yeah.
These are real families. Yeah. Her mom and dad, her real mom and dad is sitting behind them, and she's watching. They're watching their baby like under so much pressure and stress, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Right.
And I can only imagine what that's like. So I just hope people just realize that these are human.
Her parents
Yeah.
were getting chased out, and I had to yell at them. I'm like, those are your parents.
Yeah.
Leave them alone.
I have to get going, but I'm
Nice to meet you.
Oh yeah.
I'm Doug.
Good
Pleasure. What brought you out here real quick? Yeah.
Well, yesterday I met Reddington, and
Cool.
he told me, he asked me if I was coming back today.
Oh, cool. You're kind of famous. Well, good to meet you. Yeah. Oh, cool. Check it out. Sweet.
They're getting car service.
Not bad.
It's awesome.
Yeah. She said she was law and crime. Did she say she was law and crime? She's watching.
Yeah.
Cool. Sweet.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet she got her own lift.
Yeah, I swear she has the best outfit. Like,
pretty
you're not even
cool.
gonna lie, she
Yeah,
has the
I
best
like
outfit here.
I loved it. Cool. Good. Got some info on the jury. They are deliberating.
Cool.
Might sit for a second.
That was definitely cool.
Yeah. My assumption is there's no 1:30 press conference because it's now 1:37. Hey, good. I decided to sit down. Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, do you say the composition of the jury, like 8 men, 4 women, or anything like that?
So I was asking her about that.
She didn't say exactly. She just said there was a diverse.
She said it was somewhat racially diverse. I didn't get a chance to ask her. I was gonna ask her like how racially diverse, like were there X amount of African Americans, Hispanic, Asian people, but she did say it was diverse, and she said the youngest person, what?
35.
Yeah,
She
said
there
that
was
the
nobody
young.
younger than she would say.
So that was
35.
interesting.
Yeah, but she said there was an even amount of men and women.
Yeah, I didn't see the African American.
No.
I didn't see both. Were you in the courtroom?
No, I haven't been in. No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
I didn't see
You saw them all?
Really interesting. So yeah, who did you see racially? Was it just all white or Hispanic or?
it was all white.
It's all white. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
More women than men, probably like
Really?
like 12 women and 6 men, maybe.
Oh, wow.
And then they pick
Huh.
the alternates, 6
Yeah, yeah.
they were chucking out.
Yeah.
Right. Were the alternates majority one gender or another or
They
no?
wouldn't say. They,
Okay.
Oh,
so
no,
what
they
it-
said it
yeah.
by numbers. She said it was by
I
numbers.
see, right.
They had to be kept
Right.
separate.
Oh, so you don't
Because
even get
they're
to see the
stand-ins.
alternates.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
interesting.
that makes sense now because she explained it. They're stand-ins. And
Right.
it was the 12 that were actually chosen have to last minute. Something happens, they get sick or whatever.
Right, right.
Yep, they can literally replace them.
And it's that
That's
easy.
smart.
Fascinating.
They have all the same facts. They all know the case front and back.
Did you hear Reddington's coming out at 1:30?
That's what I heard, and I'm
Wait, so
waiting
he
for
went
him
back
like a
in?
jerk.
I
But
saw him leave.
wait, she's right. She saw him leave,
Yeah.
and he did. But now I still have heard though that he was going to give a press conference.
He left at like 1 o'clock. He went flying. Yeah.
Yeah.
we chased him. Yeah, he went out that.
Towards the
outside.
restricted section, because he can't go past the right part. And he went
He
right.
was
He
not
like
coming
almost
down. He
ran
parked
past
over
the
there.
restricted where nobody else could go. Like almost
That
booked
mofo
it.
fast walked. He went
He
straight
didn't want
to.
to be in it.
Yeah, no,
No,
not at all.
Mr. Nerds. This is why I don't know why you want to be interviewed now if you didn't want to be interviewed an hour ago.
Yeah,
But
he's probably not gonna.
you know.
I don't blame him.
But then why? I wonder why they set up the press conference unless somebody told them
Well,
something.
they're
But
clearly gonna get something. I would think they wouldn't go.
right, because they have even specifically like I understand keeping the cameras just at the door, but then you have this little mini, you have the microphones specifically for somebody giving a press conference.
Absolutely.
So like I'm hoping.
Someone's coming.
Yeah, I'd be a good prime spot for it.
Absolutely, yeah. The
Yeah.
mics from multiple different news stations.
Yeah, that's what I write. And why set it up unless like they expect to hear from somebody?
Absolutely.
And I mean, unless like, it's interesting. Has a prosecutor ever done her own little press conference? How come?
I wonder why.
You think she? Well, yeah, I know. I mean, she's embarrassed about it, but then she could try to humanize things and
No, why would she?
change the public perception.
They all know how much they're hated.
I guess they really are, which is
It doesn't matter
interesting.
how many people are on their side, the amount of people that are.
Do you think it's worth the hate? I mean, I can kind of understand them trying to go after
I
somebody
could
killed their
never-
kids, but
at the same time,
that's true too. Yeah.
exactly. And and I said this already to you. You know that the fact that the judge that you're done for, if the judge had to tell you to move along, the fact that he literally had to say, "Okay, counsel, keep it moving."
Yeah. Fair point.
Done with her. Oh, the amount of
Yeah.
times they called sidebar, we probably would have been dead if we played a drinking game.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Mortal sin. That was quite a word. All right, guys, get grab a cigarette. I was so excited. I thought we got an Amish dude for a second. I realized he's not Amish. Oh man, that guy is not Amish. Damn it. I saw an Amish man from afar. That's not the case. It's just camera gear. Oh well. Man, I thought you were Amish for a second. I got excited because he had the hat, and I thought you had like suspenders. But no, that guy's not Amish. Sorry to my chat. That would be cool if we saw an Amish person check out this trial. Oh well. So time ticks on. The jury has decided not to go to lunch, right? So they're still deliberating. I think the more time it takes, probably the better. Probably the better if you're a supporter of Clancy's. But it's a lot of hurry up and wait. There's some talk, obviously, as I mentioned before, about a press conference. Guys, I'm going to just check updates. Give me a minute. Don't leave. 9 women and 3 men. So there's certainly a lopsided turns to gender, which would probably be favorable towards Clancy. But then there could be people that want to disprove that just because they're a woman, they vote to let her off. So, but I'd say it more likely to work in her favor than less likely. Would be my guess. We'll do a little media wrap around, walk around a little bit. So this is what the process is like, guys. There's a lot of people standing, waiting. Again, I think the longer it takes for the jury to deliberate, it's probably been about an hour at this point, the better it is for Clancy. So I'd be in a good mood if I were her, in a less good mood if I were the prosecutors. It was interesting to see, we're all waiting for Reddington to speak. The prosecutors has not made any press conferences at all. And it is unique in that regard, because you think they'd want to help control their narrative on their end, and they would have a lot to work with. But I think they lost an opportunity being like super media friendly. But maybe that none of that matters, right? About the jury. The jury's not supposed to be aware of the media thing. And I will tell you this, guys. See all this media right here, all these people here. It's a nice crowd. This was not the usual crowd for the duration of the trial. For most of the trial, there's nobody here at all. This wasn't like Karen Reed, where everybody's here for Karen, because she was clearly more of a victim. I think that was very more cut and dry. And there are people for Karen Reed every day, and I wanted to enter this trial very early on to speak with people every day. That's kind of my niche. You have everybody else analyzing what happened, people who know more than I do about law. But I think my something that I could bring is I can connect well with people. I can get their stories. I can ask the right questions. I like to have longer, substantive conversations. And so on the second day of the trial, I showed up and there was nobody there. The third day of the trial, I showed up, there's nobody there. And the presence for this hasn't really materialized until these last couple of days. So, Reddington was giving a lot of press conferences to 1 or 2 reporters. So it is kind of funny. You see all the excitement and all the media around this trial, and you assume that it's the whole time. But in the reality, all of this is just for the last couple of days. And everybody kind of descends in. Tell me if I should sign off or not. I don't know. I might sign off. Because it's like, what else are you going to do? I can talk to some more people. I can have one more cigarette. Hey, Mocha Cats. I hope you guys can hear me now this time. That I'm no longer unmuted. Sat down. I don't know, some of you don't know what I look like. I'm a hideous troll. The hair's a little deep. I gotta get it. Put a one if you think I should get a haircut. Definitely need a haircut, right? I hate when my hair is this long because I can't usually I can manage it. Now it's just going crazy. I can hear you. Good. Yeah, what do you think I should get here? Most pressing issue of the day. I had to jack it off, but it got too hot. Dodge can hardly hear you. But I think I can. Well, no, because the wind's better. You probably cannot hear me. Yeah, so again, this is an interesting comment from Sunshine. The jury is going to talk amongst themselves to take a vote. They don't have to they're not bringing footage, which is interesting. Are you media, I assume?
Yes.
Bummer. I was going to ask people questions, but can't ask you. You're good. People pass by, see if anybody's not media. Yeah, it is windy. I mean, luckily there's nothing to hear. I was going to try to interview people, but if the wind is this bad, then it might not be working because you can't hear anybody. Papa, can you hear me? Papa, can you hear me? No, it's fine. This is like largely what being a reporter is just like awkwardly sitting for a long time. Like people say it's the hard, like super hard work. Like sometimes being a reporter is hard work, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just like standing there and saying for 2 minutes. Like I'm talking with you the whole time, right? I'm talking for like an hour. I'm talking with people for 20 minutes. Talking to another person. If you're a reporter, all you have to do is like talk to somebody for 2 minutes, clip 30 seconds from them, and then wait around. Nice life. But I give you a little more material than that for the 9 people watching. Not a lot of people watching today. Oh well. C'est la vie. A few people watched. I think YouTube hates me because other people get much better numbers and they went live, and then I have 11,000 subscribers, and I'll probably only get like 1,000 people watching. And I think like YouTube just hates me for some reason, and it's like fucking my algorithm. Sucks. If there are more people watching, there'd be more chat, so I can talk with more people. C'est la vie. Again, Clancy's case. Everybody, I was hoping to speak to some people who were against her, and unfortunately, I could not find that, which is a big bummer. Because diversity of thought is always a good thing. That it depends on who shows up, right? And so that's a reflection of reality too. They get public sentiment far and away. And I asked people in their towns, what do they think? And the initial perspective is, people were very divided. It doesn't. When I ask each and every person, what do their neighbors think, whether they live in Plymouth or Duxbury or all those places around, they're all against the border. She's got it. I guys are gonna sign off. Wait around a little bit. Take care.